Hello, I'm Mike Cerre, and welcome to PM Magazine from the United States Open. Tennis is normally a recreational game, but not the way these guys are playing, especially not the way Bjorn Borg's been playing the last couple of years. But how do they keep it doing it week after week? On tonight's PM Magazine, we're going to go behind the scenes to show you some people who are a very important part of the game. But first, here's Danny to tell you about the rest of tonight's PM Magazine.
Thanks, Mike. Hi, I'm Danny Falke, and tonight I'm over at the Fulton Market in front of the retail fish store. You know, they carry anything from fresh tuna to lobster. Well, tonight on PM Magazine, we're going to take you to a farm in Utah that grows lobsters. It's a crazy experiment to please seafood lovers. Then in our PM Magazine departments, Jerry Baker shows you how to grow houseplants without soil. It can keep them healthier. Captain Karen in the South Department shares some ideas for fighting noise and making your life more pleasant. And Darcy Lubart in the Discovery Department finds some Manhattan pastry treats.
This is center court at the National Tennis Center. And this is about as close as I'll ever come to the United States Open, when the guys are sweeping up in the morning before the matches. Besides being one of the most prestigious stops on the tour, this event is also one of the most physical. And this is where sports medicine really comes into play. And on tonight's PM Magazine, you're going to meet the people who keep the pros on the court. Pro tennis is a game of individual competition. Each player must go the distance alone, because unlike other sports, there is no bench, and there will be no substitutions. The favorites at the U.S. Open understood this painfully well. A sprained ankle forced John McEnroe to withdraw from the previous stop on the Pro Tour, and a bad knee kept Bjorn Borg from cashing in at the Canadian Open as well. In fact, Borg's medical history here at the U.S. Open reads like a voodoo curse. A bad stomach in 75, a default because of a bum shoulder in 77, a bruised thumb in 78. Like they say back in the locker room, you can't make any money if you can't play. Bill Norris is a professional trainer. His game is to make sure the superstars in tennis can play theirs. Like the players, he travels the world. Only his center court is always back in some locker room.
Marty has strained, the muscles here are strained. He's got a little bit of sciatica, and we're giving him some ultrasonic treatment right now. And this will relieve the inflammation to a degree. It'll bring forward some good blood flow and some circulation. And we have to do this to several of the players who play a lot of times when they change surfaces or when they play on a surface like a hard surface like we're playing here.
I think as sports trainers, you know, they're more familiar than a lot of the doctors that have to work with the injuries. I mean, these are really injuries, and that's something that a lot of the doctors would handle.
Most of the maladies are minor, like treating blisters. But like a small-town doctor, he's always on call and must be ready for anything.
Well, the way I look at it is a 24-hour job. I have guys calling me in the middle of the night to give them a pill for a headache. 2 months ago, I had a guy that came down with an appendicitis attack, and I had to diagnose that and get him to the doctor.
The U.S. Open is traditionally one of the most physical and unforgiving stops on the tour. For 2 weeks, over 100 of the world's best players go at it for 7 rounds. Minor ailments on hard courts like these can become chronic and crippling to a player's game. This year, courtside temperatures of 120 degrees quickly drain their spirit and strength.
Years ago, we used to say, take 2 salt tablets and go out and play. But we don't use salt as much. We found that a correct fluid balance a lot of times probably will prevent a lot of times cramping.
Because of the heat, Bill also advises his players to use special drinks, like isotonic and electrolyte replacements. He also recommends simple changes in diets, like eating bananas and fruits in the locker room. Bill has also treated pro baseball and basketball teams in his 15-year career as a trainer, but he considers tennis to be the most demanding of the pro athletes and for recreational players like myself.
From the waist down, you could compare tennis with basketball, the stop-and-go movement. From the waist up, I think instead of throwing a baseball, you'd be throwing a racket. So baseball could be compared from the upper body strengths.
Since prevention is always the best type of medicine, Bill's locker room often looks like a yoga retreat just before a match. Peter Fleming, an eventual winner in the doubles, claims this daily stretching regimen has virtually eliminated a chronic back problem.
I mean, no matter who you are, it's the same game, right? I mean, and you have the same chances of hurting yourself. I don't think it doesn't make me any faster, doesn't make me any stronger or anything, but it just minimizes my chances of getting hurt, which is the name of the game. You can't make money if you can't play.
Go into a movement like this of rotating the back, because the back really takes a lot of strain in tennis. I'd say low back strain is probably one of the...
Well, Connors has a bad back, doesn't he?
Yeah, and I think Jimmy's problem was that he started when he was so young. He played when he was, he says, when he was 3, they put a racket in his hand. It was probably more like 2. I think the tennis players, the current crop of tennis players probably are in better condition than any athlete. And I think because it's an individual sport, they are disciplined to the point where they, with the exception of maybe a few of the superstars who have their own coaches, they have to discipline themselves to the point where they know how to stretch, they know how to get in condition, and there's no one else to really push them.
Trainers are basically, they have to be pretty, you know, tight-lipped on, you know, the injuries, because if you're playing someone and they have an injury, you know, the player doesn't want you to know that he has an injury or what it is, and basically the trainer doesn't talk about it.
Would another player ever ask you about the physical condition of someone he was about to compete against that you might be privy to?
No. It's almost like a common bond between players on the tour that they would never ever try to pry into to find out the physical condition or the mental condition of a player at that time.
Because of their previous injuries, some thought the only way McEnroe and Borg would meet in New York this trip was if their wheelchairs collided at Bellevue. But after 34 sets of competitive tennis, they were still going, right down to the 5th and final match, with McEnroe, the King of Queens, prevailing.
My job is one that we really contribute a lot to their welfare, and without us, a lot of players couldn't play.
After 10 days of competition in 90-degree-plus weather, the man who emerges victorious from center court on the last day is not only the best tennis player, he's a survivor. Stay with us. Danny, I'll be back in a minute with the rest of tonight's PM Magazine.